Hello my beautiful light brights. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Neon Noire. I'm a half Italian, half Canadian drag queen living in Belgium. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We are taking a break from my Fab or Drab series to give you another cast reveal. That is right, you guys loved what I did for UK vs. the World 2. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out right over here. Drag Race Belgique Season 2 is coming in 2024, you guys. The cast has been leaked online and we are gonna break it down. So without further ado, let's get into it. Roll the tape! Let's talk a little bit about the show. Drag Race Belgique Season 1 aired 1 year ago, so we are kind of expecting this season, if it was in the same trajectory, to air in February time. Now, there are a lot of other shows happening at the same time, so it's possible that this does get moved to a little bit later. But we do know that this series was fully casted back in May and was filmed in July, August. So everything is ready to go. We're just waiting for the reveal. We're just waiting for the moment as to when it airs on television. So in this episode, we're going to be looking at all the queens that are rumored to be on the cast according to Reddit and break it down and let you know my thoughts. Now, I will not be giving any spoilers on eliminations, who got kicked out first, second, third, yada yada. I want to watch the show with enjoyment and I don't want to know these things. Additionally, I have not fact checked these. Even though I have some connections in the city, I've decided not to fact check these because I do not want to get in trouble with any producers of Drag Race. And I don't want to bring any bad faith or get any queens disqualified or anything like that. You know, Drag Race has some crazy rules. So take all of this with a pinch of salt and let's use this for entertainment purposes only. First up is Alvilda, and Alvilda is from Brussels. Now, for those of you who do not live in Europe or in Belgium, Brussels is very much the drag capital of Belgium. It is also the French part of Belgium because Belgium is half French, half Flemish, similar to how Canada is with English and French. And so you will have some queens that are a little bit more Flemish and queens that are a little bit more French. So for a French version of Drag Race, you would expect a lot of queens to be coming from Brussels, especially considering everything. Anyway, Alvilda is from Brussels herself, but I don't actually know this queen. That being said, if you go through it, she's definitely giving you a little bit more of that artistic vibe. She loves to like sort of paint on her face, but she's also giving you feminine Y2K energy, and it is looking super cool. Looking through her Instagram, I can see that she either works with or is signed to Agence 47, which is a drag agency out of Belgium. I mention this only because there are several season 1 girls from Drag Race Belgique who are signed to the same agency, including Susan from Grindr, or as she's better known as Suzanne, and Athena. So she's definitely in the mix. She definitely knows the queens. And so when you have an inside scoop, it kind of helps in the competition. Additionally, her drag is quite unique. So I love that we're already starting with a little bit of a different flavor. She's giving you a little bit of that femme energy, but a little bit of that artistic vibe and something a little bit different that we haven't seen for Drag Race Belgique. I'm interested, I'm excited to see what this queen has to offer. Next up is Clarke, and Clarke is coming in from Ghent. Honestly, when Drag Race Belgique was announced for season 1, I fully anticipated Clarke to be on it. Now, I know Clarke through the scene. I've seen her perform a couple of times. We had a couple little chats, but we're not friends by any means of the imagination, but the industry is quite small. I fully expected Clarke to be the queen that was on season 1, so I'm happy to hear that she's potentially on season 2. And why do I say that I thought Clarke was going to be that queen that was on season 1? Is because she loves drag. You'll see her at all the drag cons. She spends money on drag. She's got Drag Race level gowns for bar performances. Like, this bitch spends money. So I'm fully predicting for her to be the fashion queen of the season. Now, like I said, she is from Ghent, so I am going to question how well she will actually do in the competition because French is not her first language. She's more of a Flemish queen. But at the same time, we did see Mocha Bonet last season do very well, and Mocha's first language is also not French. So you know what? Let's have it. Let's bring in all of Belgium because that's how it should be anyway. Next up It's Gabanna, and Gabanna is also coming to us from Brussels. I know of Gabanna. I've never seen her. I've never met her, but you know, she's one of those names that you definitely hear a lot about. Gabanna is definitely one of the queens that performs everywhere. Even when I was living in the Netherlands, she was constantly performing there. And on the cast, she is the one currently with the highest amount of followers. So she is a name. Additionally, she is much more of a fishier queen, a little bit more femme. She does come from a little bit of the pageant circuit, having won a title back in 2019. And so therefore she is definitely going to bring a little bit of that more regal elegance. At least we hope so. Looking at her Instagram, she is polished, but she is definitely giving you that more stereotypical drag, which isn't a bad thing because we do need variety in the cast. All in all, this queen has quite a bit of performance experience. She has a previous title, and I bet you she's going to come in, and she's going to come in strong to win. But let's see if she's able to pull out that charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent that is needed to win Drag Race Belgique. Next up, we have La Veuve, and La Veuve is also from Brussels and is actually a staple at Cabaret Mademoiselle. Now, if Cabaret Mademoiselle sounds familiar, it is because it is the staple drag bar in Brussels. It is actually owned by season 1 contestant Mademoiselle Veuve. This is the bar. If you're in Brussels, you have to go check it out. Anyway, La Veuve is a staple there. She is a bearded queen that is a little bit spooky and is definitely give you like a little bit of that fortune teller vibes. Now, you know I am partial to a bearded queen. I love when we have bearded queens, and I'm waiting for Drag Race Canada and US to get themselves on board and get a bearded queen on their season. But Europe knows what's going on and they have it going. They are showing the representation. Looking through La Veuve's Instagram, she's definitely giving you those cabaret, that little bit of that spooky vibe. She's definitely giving you mysterious, and I don't really know that much about her. All in all, I love the diversity of the casting so far, and this is just another layer into it. Very curious what she's gonna bring. It is not a queen I know because I don't live in Brussels, but it is a queen I would love to get to know. So let's see what she has to offer. That is, if she's really cast. Next up, we have Loulou Velvet. And Loulou Velvet is also from Brussels. In fact, she is the drag daughter of Mademoiselle Veuve and works at Cabaret Mademoiselle. Girl, why am I having so much trouble saying the word Mademoiselle? Mademoiselle. So obviously, she knows a little bit more of the competition, having her mother previously competed on season 1. Additionally, she probably is very good friends with La Veuve because they're both staples in the same establishment. So they for sure work together probably many times. Looking through her Instagram, she is definitely giving you that femme fatale energy. It is giving you a little bit femme, a little bit sex, a little bit naughty. She's definitely gonna have that like vixen naughty edge to her. Loulou seems like one of the queens that's the most connected to the other queens on Drag Race prior to even coming in. So I'm curious how that's gonna play on this season. Are we gonna have a twist like Canada's Drag Race? And if that happens, how will that affect the game? Who knows? I am just speculating and maybe just dreaming because Canada's Drag Race was excellent. So maybe they need to steal a thing or two from them. All in all, seems like a very good casting to me, and I'm really curious to what this queen has to offer. Next up, we have Madame Yoko, and Madame Yoko is coming to us from Luxembourg City in Luxembourg. That is right, she is not a Belgian queen, but a Luxembourgian queen. Is that how you say somebody who's from Luxembourg? Are they Luxembourgian? I don't know. First off, I will say that I love that they're bringing in queens from other countries, especially countries that are way too small, that will never get the representation. We saw some of this in Drag Race Italia, where we had Vrezia come in from Albania. We also saw this in Drag Race France, where we had Moon come in from Switzerland. We also saw this in Drag Race Germany, where we had Pandora come in from Austria. So to see that Luxembourg is getting representation on one of the franchises, this time on Drag Race Belgique, is fantastic. Now, looking at her Instagram, honestly, I feel like this was a diversity casting. I really just don't feel like she is up to par to the other queens. In fact, she doesn't even have a proper drag Instagram account. She has a boy/drag Instagram account, which makes me believe that hasn't been doing this for this long, or if she has been doing it, she hasn't fully committed. I mean, it's not that hard to start an Instagram account, girl. Like, why do you need to show so many boy pictures of yourself? What are you trying to hide? It kind of rubs me the wrong way. All in all, I know nothing about the Luxembourgian drag scene, so she could be the best of the best and I wouldn't know it. It seems like She definitely has some connections. She did something with Work the World Luxembourg. So maybe I'm underestimating this queen. Who knows? But we'll hopefully find out on this season. Next up, it's Morphæ, and Morphæ is also coming to us from Brussels. I don't know Morphæ, but looking at her Instagram account, I get the suspicion that she actually went in and cleaned it up. And that's usually a telltale sign that they are going on Drag Race. Usually when some contestants go on Drag Race, they clean up their Instagram to make it as neat as possible because they don't want to show their bad looks or show looks that they're potentially going to be reusing or reinterpreted in Drag Race. Now, it's also possible that this is her Instagram normally and she just doesn't post that much, so I might be reading into it too much. That being said, from what she does show, it's a little bit odd, a little bit creepy, a little bit alien. It is definitely more avant-garde-esque. So this can go one of two ways. Either she is that avant-garde queen, or she pretends to be and wants to be, where that means she's maybe more of a junior queen who has this vision of what she wants to be and is maybe not getting there. I cannot tell from this Instagram account how good or bad she is going to be. Because of the alien aesthetic and the sort of avant-garde-esque of her few pictures that she has on there, it is giving me a little bit of Chelsea Boy from Drag Race Holland season 1. And if she's anything like Chelsea Boy, then she is going to be fantastic. But you know what? Those are huge shoes to fill. So let's not read into it too much because I'm pretty much setting up to fail if you're trying to be as good as Chelsea Boy, who is one of my all-time favorite queens on any franchise. Disagree? Just fight me because honestly, I will go to bat for Chelsea Boy any day. Next up, it's Sarah Logan. And Sarah Logan is coming to us from Lisbon, Portugal, you guys. New country unlocked. Again, like I said before, I love when we bring in queens from other countries, especially ones that don't have that representation. So I know nothing about Sarah Logan. I know nothing about Portuguese drag. And so I'm very curious what this will bring. Looking through her Instagram, it's hard to tell what kind of queen she's gonna be because this bitch loves a filter. All of her pictures are filtered to death, blown out in color. Clearly, she is not a designer in any way. But that being said, she has a lot of posts, which generally means to me that she has probably quite a bit of performance experience, having gone out in drag a lot of times. She's definitely giving you more of that femme cabaret energy with feathers and jewels and all of those fun girly things. In terms of the task, she is definitely more on the plain, boring side. And again, that's not a bad thing. I'm just wondering what her unique identity is. So if she's on the cast, I feel like that is what she really needs to show us, is who she is, how she differentiates herself from every other drag queen. But other than that, I love when there's new energy in the room, and let's see what she has to offer. And last up, we have Star. Star is coming to us from Antwerp. In fact, Star is the drag mother of Drag Race Holland Season 1 contestant Sergine. As you remember, Sergine, even though competed on the Dutch version of the show, was originally from Belgium. Now, Sergine does not speak French as far as I know, and so I'm very curious how Star is going to do, because I am assuming that she is also Flemish coming from Antwerp. Even though I do not know Star personally, I have seen her here and there. She's popping up everywhere, mainly because Sergine has been bringing her around and showcasing her mother as much as she can. She's definitely showing that family love and trying to give Star some of those opportunities. Now, Star is, I think, a pretty big get because, like I said, she's been popping up everywhere. She was on the Belgian edition of Make Up Your Mind as a judge, and additionally, she was part of the Rotterdam Drag Show. Now, for those of you who do not know, the Rotterdam Drag Show claims to be the biggest drag show in Europe. I don't know if that is true, but the show stars Jamie Jacquet, Envy Peru, Vanessa Van Cartier, My Little Pootie, and a whole bunch of guest queens. Most of the guest queens are Drag Race queens, with the exception of Star. There are a few handfuls. Star has made it into that roster. So clearly she must be pretty good if she's accompanying herself with all of these people. I'm very curious what she's gonna bring. Sergine brought a lot to Drag Race Holland, and since they are related, something tells me that they have the same connections and they know the same people, and therefore should be able to bring at least that same energy. She is the mother after all, so I am expecting big things. So that is it for the cast, and if you counted correctly, that means there are only 9 queens. This seems a little fishy to me. Last season, there was 10 queens, so I'm kind of curious as to why there's only 9. Is there only 9 because the 10th one is unknown? Is there only 9 because they're gonna maybe do a double chanté or a non-elimination premiere? I'm very curious what they have in store for us. If you're asking me who I'm rooting for on this cast, if this cast is accurate, I am rooting for Chloe Clarke, mainly because she is the queen that I know the best in this cast, which doesn't really say much. My opinions might change once the season starts, once I get to see what these queens really have to offer. So that is it for this week's episode, you guys. Did you like this video? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comments down below. Who are you excited to see? Do you have any tea that I need to know about? Go ahead and write it in the comments down below. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Once again, my name is Neon Noire, at Miss Neon Noire on all social platforms, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.